So you get to the northern part of town, past the cathedral, past the jewelers, past a little shop, to the White Deer Inn.
Naming off all the businesses I've harassed?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Where are the face game?
And you finally get to another two-story building. This one looks nicer than the Rusty Dragon. It's got a large wooden placard with a white deer painted on it. And you can see outside, there's a thin rock that's been laid out in the dirt, and a board put over it, and a large metal structure with different little things painted on the side. And at the top is a silver-colored bell shaped like an ogre's head. And you can see a couple people, a woman with a large hammer talking to a couple nicely dressed people, as they and behind them a table with people putting various little knickknacks and prizes on it. And above that, on a rack, sits a larger hammer that one would surmise being on that table would be a prize.
Is this a Strength Games?
As the narrator, I cannot answer that question.
I asked the people at the booth.
They turn around and look at you. Well,
I come in quietly too, so they're busy talking. All of a sudden,
just whisper in their ear.
The sun disappears as Gallagher looms over them.
Is this a Strength Game?
I've been looking for it.
The nicely dressed people jump a little, but you notice the somewhat more casually and roughly clad woman just sort of glance at you weirdly. It will be when we're done setting up.
When?
After the speeches.
When?
Well, judging by the position of the sun, soon.
How soon?
I can't give you an amount of time.
Who can?
It sounds like my character.
After the speeches. It won't be long, less than an hour.
How long's an hour?
It's true.
Tell you what. Why don't you take a couple practice swings with the hammer over there, and we'll tell you when you can come hit the plank.
At what?
In the air?
I'm not there. I can't say anything.
I take the hammer. I give it way. I test it out, and I just start swinging around in a circle.
They back up. Right. Well. Tell you what.
They didn't say what to swing at. They just started swinging.
If you go watch the speeches, you'll know exactly when the games are on, because the speeches will have ended, because you'll know that when you're watching them.
Gotta
leave
practices in. I'm going to win.
Oh God, I hope you do so you leave. Well, that's enough practice. Go watch the speeches and come right back here when they're done. And you'll be the first in line.
He lets go of the hammer mid-swing.
I do.
Random direction.
The hammer careens off and bounces off the building, leaving a noticeable dent.
Have a directional.
You see the. Maybe I should roll it since I'm.
Aww. Roll it on your map.
It goes backwards and skids across the dirt and comes to rest against one of the more house-like buildings and one of the merchant-like buildings.
I really wish it just creamed off and hit a small hovel, and the hovel just went boom.
You're not that strong yet. I hope. Jesus.
Yeah, until he rages.
Until I crit a hovel. Take out the cornerstone.
I hear screams in the distance. Well, I know where he's at.
Making a mental note of where people are in town.
What are you doing?
I'm looking for what would look like an enforcer. So in Tian Sha, they wield sticks, like staffs. They just beat people in the street. So looking for somebody who would look like they would beat somebody in the street. His stick may be smaller or whatever, but I'm looking for him.
And up in the distance you hear, "Where are the speeches?"
Noted.
Please! Please leave!
Okay.
Flanking the stage, you see two guards, more well armored than the two you talked to, and they're both wielding spears. They have shields at their side and long swords at their belt. You see the two people that they saw earlier, the woman and the man on the stage, and they're joined by a man who's wearing a loose tunic. He's got a long sword on his back. He's bald, darker skinned, and he seems to have some sort of badge or medallion pinned to his tunic. It's small, it looks well worn, it's not bright or anything, but he seems...
Commoner. Which one of those people is the sheriff?
And Connor turns and looks at the stage. Oh, that would be Sheriff Hemlock, the bald man. Yes.
Your culture's way of identifying your leadership is weird. You're dismissed.
Well, he's got the badge, so... I mean, you would know him if he was in his official, because he wears armor most of the time, and... I'll leave.
And then I turn back to the stage and go, okay. And I look at the two guys with spears. Silly people. Spears only work if I'm actually not in your face. And then I just stand there and wait for the speeches to be over.
A man next to you looks at you oddly, then scoots away a little bit.
Looks like a bubble.
How much?
2 copper.
Sure. Hands you 2 copper.
Here's a bubble.
He shakes it.
I'm a bubble man. My vendor table will be set up northeast of the Rusty Dragon. You can find me here all week.
Northeast? Okay. He shakes it. Well, that is a...
It's a bubble.
It is. He leaves. So, are you headed back? You're at the speech ground. Are you headed back to the speeches?
Yep.
And what are you two doing? You
Waiting
just
for the
lurking in the
speeches.
crowd?
We're waiting for the speeches to be over until she can perform.
You hear a, hurry up!
So the crowd is forming. You all are somewhat near the back,
Yeah.
as you notice that whenever you get near, people start to fidget and look warily at you. No guards have approached you, although the same 2 guards are standing on the edge of the square watching you. The 2 guards at the front haven't moved.
Hi.
A strange man waves perversely at you.
No. At the guards.
People keep acting weird. They're all weird. Everybody's weird. You're weird.
So you all wait a few minutes.
My eye. It's covered by a bandana, but I'm still really self-conscious about it.
An older lady approaches. Excuse me, are you okay?
She has a headache.
I have a fever.
Well, would you like some tea?
It's dysentery.
She immediately leaves.
That escalated really quickly.
You poor monkey!
My head hurts. It's the shits.
You poor monkey! Do you need a diaper? Well, that old woman's not coming back. My entire train of thought. Dysentery. Speeches. So the square begins to fill up, and you notice one of the 3 people up there each take a chair. One of them is left blank, or left empty. Chairs aren't blank. Like my mind is blank, and the chair is empty. I am one with the blank, and the blank is with me.
Get on with it!
Fucking Monty Python. So this town is... A lot of the town is gathered here. You see a lot of adults, a few children running around the edges of it, some pets around the edge, but you can see a lot of the people here dressed a little nicer. These are clearly the more well-to-do people in the town. There are a few workers scattered amongst them, and the people on stage are clearly the officials of the town. The older woman, middle-aged woman, she's got short brown hair and green eyes. She's wearing a conservative dark green dress with a high white, somewhat frilly collar. It's a celebration, so you have to be a little fancy. She steps forward and holds her hands out, and the crowd dies down a little bit. And she looks out over the crowd. You can see her head pause slightly in its swivel when she catches sight of your motley group.
I
Hi.
just reach over and just
put her hand down for her. And then the other one.
This is pink too.
I whip my hair back and forth. I whip my hair back and forth.
Nay, sir. Nay, you will stop that.
It's like I see a 5, 6, 5, 8, and then you'll see a 6, 9.
6, 9, 2.
Bitch!
From all the heads, you see just one that looks like a spot with nobody in it. That's where you are.
It's her.
No, I thought that would be
No.
you. Because
She's
you'll
3
be
foot.
with Mogmog on top of Mogmog.
I'm Mog Mog.
Yeah, they're in the
I'm
back,
Mog
though.
Mog. She'll be on top of Mouse. Mouse.
Yeah, it'll be a larger gap. I was talking about like a person-sized
I'm
hole in the
5'1".
crowd.
I'm 5'1", I'm not that short.
Anyway, she says, "Greetings, everyone. Welcome to all of you to Sandpoint
Hi.
and the Swallowtail Festival."
Thank you!
Some of the crowd chuckles at your enthusiasm. I would like to welcome you all to this special occasion, and a special welcome to all of you who have traveled from so far away. We are honored to have you here.
Hi,
Not only this this special day every year, the first day of autumn, our Swallowtail Festival, but also here on the commemoration of our new cathedral. Over the past few years, we've struggled together, we've worked hard together, and we have persevered through everything, and this cathedral is the fruit of our labors. I want to extend to all of you a blessing and a wish that you have a blessed first day of autumn on this Swallowtail Festival day.
Game!
Did she say game?
The commemoration of, or the consecration of this cathedral, and this, the first day of autumn, Desna's Day, marks the new beginning of a bright future for Sandpoint. And she takes a small, nods her head as though to bow, and the crowd applauds and cheers. And
Is that what you guys do?
No, my arms are held down.
she takes a seat down at the first chair, and the darker skinned man, bald, he's wearing a dark blue tunic.
My current target.
He's got wrist bracers on. He's got a long sword on his back. He steps up to the podium and hushes the crowd down. You can see a small tarnished symbol of his office. He's a sheriff. It's a small star, but you can't make out the symbol on it, but it's clearly a mark of his rank. He stands up, and this town has endured a great deal over the past few years. I would like to remind everyone, even though today is a day of celebration, it is also a day of remembrance for all of those we have lost. Shut up. Mayor Devrin is right when she says we have overcome a great deal, and that we deserve this day of celebration. But I would ask you all to take a minute and have a moment of reflection for those we have lost and for those who have sacrificed for what we have achieved today. I would like to ask for a minute of silence
I dropped
in
down
remembrance.
into the lotus position.
I don't see a mirror anywhere.
So the crowd dies down. You can see the mood has dropped considerably,
I'm
but
still looking around.
you hear a few children making noises. You can hear some dogs barking. You can
That guy's bald.
Where's a mirror?
you see some children laugh and some adults shoot you a glare. But even though the mood has fallen, it's respectful. It's quiet. He nods graciously to the crowd and sits back down. A small discussion takes place on stage. Clearly, the missing person is causing some consternation. They're not quite sure how to proceed. But you see a very flamboyantly dressed man jump up on stage suddenly. He's wearing a white frilly shirt. He's got a close cropped goatee. He's wearing bright purple pants. He's got his hair slicked back in black. He raises his arms and grins over the crowd. Says, "My friends, today is indeed an important festival. We are opening our new cathedral. And without this, if none of Without you, none of this would have been possible. None of
I
it.
just got here.
Let us not forget all the sacrifices we have made, and the noble contributions of our noble families.
Yeah.
Why, if it hadn't been for the Devon family, we have never had food for all our workers who come from Magnamar. And without the Scarnetti family, we've never had all this lumber to build our wonderful cathedral. We almost ran out twice, but they provided for us. And without the Kaijutsu family, we would have never had these beautiful stained glass windows. Windows that, I might add, are based on the model in my theater that you will see here in Sandpoint. The prototypes. They're not nearly as grand in my theater, of course, but they are the model for our wonderful cathedral. And the carvings provided by the Valamore family, which are almost as good as the ones in my theater, but they depict the gods as though they come to life and sprouted from in a tree and burst forth, almost as though not a human hand had ever touched them. You can see the mayor is annoyed and taps her foot, and he glances over his shoulder and says, but I digress. I am come here to wish you a happy Swallowtail Festival, and to invite you, during the festivities, to come down to the theater and get a preview of my play with the wonderful Ashara from Magnamar, who is playing the Harpy Queen in my new work, The Harpy's Curse.
Is that a game?
Yes! Got fun and games for all, especially outside the theater, where you can help us put on a show even. Come and watch, come and see. The mayor ushers him off. You hear several people mention his name. His name is Sirdak Drokus. He is the proprietor of it, the local theater, who,
Really? He works at the theater?
he does!
Wow.
How's that?
Didn't fucking catch that at all.
He's known to be very flamboyant. He likes to steal the show. But you hear a few people say, well, he did contribute a lot to the cathedral being built.
Seared ass broken. Got it.
The final person to step up is the man you saw in white robes. He's got a blue, the word just escaped me.
Shirt.
Well, no, it's a white robes with blue down the front, and he's got the large butterfly symbol. And he raises his hands to calm everybody who are giggling or rolling their eyes or laughing at Sirik, who is making the rounds. You notice he stops and especially talks to a lot of women. He says, "My friends, today is a blessed day. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for coming. And I won't keep you any longer from beginning your celebrations. Today is a blessed day in the history of Sandpoint, and I would like us all to remember that. But, in the meantime, let the festivals begin." And you see a few butterflies released out the front of the cathedral door. The same kind of butterflies, of the same color of the little intricate carvings you'd seen on the various buildings. They fly over his head and up into the
I
sky.
grab the nearest person. Speech is over now.
They appear to be.
And then I haul past them.
Oh god. So you see that the stage is being emptied of the people.
Stage open.
The mayor and the last man who spoke, the cleric, linger for a moment talking, and you can see the theater man linger near the stage, shaking hands and smiling and talking to people.